Well, despite the fact that it looks like I'm standing in the hallway of a school, that's actually an image projected on a screen behind me. And this, while a real firearm, it's been adapted to fire CO2 cartridges and send a laser image toward that screen for simulator training. I'm at MILO Range Smart in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's a maker of simulator training systems, and we're going to see how these systems improve the performance of both law enforcement and military users and the average armed citizen.
MILO Range, first and foremost, is a training company. And we make interactive computer-based training systems that are designed to basically enhance human performance under stress, particularly when it comes to the shooting sports and the use of force, military, law enforcement, public safety, and civilians.
Live fire is good for, how to handle your firearm and so forth, but the skills of what do you do in this situation compared to this situation? What do you do when the situation escalates or when it de-escalates? The simulators provide that. This is not a replacement for the instructor. This system is very instructor-based. So what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. It's like a carpenter with a hammer. This is that hammer they're going to use. And so this is another tool that the trainee or the trainer is going to use to enhance their mental capacity on different types of scenarios. So for example, if there's something you want to work on as far as dealing with the EDP, emotionally disturbed person, well, you don't have to go out in the real world and do that and say, this is my first instance. You can come out here, play 3 or 4 scenarios, and build up that mental capacity to say, okay, this is what I need to do in order to engage these people or to help these people or to, guide them into the direction they need to go. And you can practice that. And the more you do it, it's just like firearm shooting. The more you shoot, the better you get. The more you run through these scenarios, the better familiar you get with these situations.
Get your hands up.
The MILO Range Training Systems brand and product has specifically been developed over many years for high-stress law enforcement, SWAT team type of engagements, military engagements, where very quick, rapid decisions had to be made under stress that apply to a number of legal concepts. And the debriefing tools, the after-action reviews, were particularly designed for those. We noticed a place in the market to transfer some of the technology that the military and Army units like the Rangers and the Navy special units were using into the civilian market, particularly in areas where safety and making good decisions under stress were important. And the Smart product brand, the main difference, it has the same technology, the same systems. The scenario and the content is quite a bit different. So where you may have a high-risk felony car stop on the MILO systems, on the commercial brand, the Smart systems, you may see something more along the lines of a carjacking or a home invasion or something along those lines. That's the key differentiator.
Naturally, it's easy for some people to think this is just like a big video game. But the truth is, it's a serious training tool, and it's a proven serious training tool. So the idea is to make these scenarios as realistic as possible, so we reach the point that I like to call suspension of disbelief, and that's where the student forgets that it's a training simulation and it's so real in their mind that their subconscious kicks in. And once you reach that point, the more effective it is.
Now. We're back at MILO Range Smart in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and we're going to see how this simulation training actually puts a little bit of stress on the user. That's yours truly. I'm going to see if I can take care of some targets and handle some situations that I'm not normally in. How you doing, sir? What's the problem today? We understand you might have a possible shoplifter.
We have a possible shoplifter inside MILO resident.
Okay. All right, thanks very much. Sir, stop right there.
So for the concealed carry holders, the system is really one of the most effective ways to train. And the reason is, if you think about it, how do you build technique or how do you build a habit?
Put the bag down.
Through repetition, right?
Set it down.
So you need to get out there and repeat these skills that are going to make you effective at whatever it is. So how do you build these skills that are going to help you to survive a life or death critical incident? There really isn't any effective way to do it unless you talk about force-on-force training or simulators. So what the simulators allow you to do is they put you in these situations that you may encounter in real life. Carjackings, home invasions, robberies at the ATM, all those different things.
Well, Brian, we've each got a gun here in our hands, and I know this one, obviously an AR-based gun, and this is one of the tactical guns for the tactical training. You've got one of the entertainment guns. It's sort of based on a Glock pistol platform. Tell me a little bit about these guns and the sort of the different levels of equipment you've got for the Smart system.
Sure, Brian. Well, we offer a complete array of firearm solutions. They range from inert firearms, which fire a laser, but they just have a resetting trigger, no moving parts, to this particular one would be probably what you would call a top of the line for the training, because this is a real Troy AR-15 with one of our recoil kits in it, which uses CO2 to give it recoil. So everything you do with that is like a real AR, because it is a real AR. This is a pistol that's made by SB Tactical for us, and it's sort of a rough copy of a Glock style pistol. It uses CO2, so the slide cycles, it shoots a laser, the magazine's programmable. So this would be probably a better example of, say, the top of the line solution for more of an entertainment base. But it's also a good training tool as well. It just depends on what your goals are.
I think that's one of the neat elements of this, is that you're still handling a firearm-like device. So that's a good way to keep it realistic and I think in the mind of the user.
Stop!
I hope our customers come out a little bit smarter. I hope they get a chance to actually look at the scenarios, come away saying, man, I really didn't think about that, or that's a situation I never thought I'd be in, and just come away a little bit more. Because the one thing I do think that the simulators provide is that training aspect of it.
Get rid of the weapon.
There's not a modern military, not a modern air carrier, not a modern ship's captain company, even surgeons train in simulators. So there can be no doubt to the efficacy or effectiveness of them as a training system. The other thing is they give you a lot of advantages that you can't get with live fire, in terms of convenience being a big one. They also give you the flexibility to do not just serious training, but also the fun stuff too.
People crave interactivity. We, especially now, want instantaneous feedback. And that's what these types of systems give. So it's engaging people who never used to really be engaged in this. As we look down the future of what these systems might look like down the road, I could tell you that the future look on these machines looks an awful lot like the past. They do what they're supposed to do, and if they do it well, there won't be a whole lot of changes to this stuff going forward. Smaller, more powerful, louder, brighter, but I think their core mission will stay the same.